I use AMP.
I use NLT.
Does it matter if I read it?
Or no, mine's
I use
NIV.
ESV.
Oh, maybe we should talk about
Translation.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you use?
Get into AMP.
What does that stand
That's
for?
amplified. That's the best version.
Is it?
Yes.
Sure.
Check it out. It's you know that like list where we're wasting time, but you know that list of where it's
Nah,
like word
we're
for
putting
word
this
and
in.
for have you seen that like it's like a spectrum?
Yeah, it's a spectrum. It was in baptism
Okay.
class.
Word
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Heresy.
word, and then yeah. So you know the side that's good.
Yeah.
What we use KJV, it's right here.
Uh-huh.
AMP is even more accurate, and it doesn't use Old English.
You serious?
And it adds in parentheses like thoughts that expand on what the original like Hebrew and Greek wanted to mean. So it's like it adds a little bit, but it's like it makes it so much. I love it. I don't know. I
I
always
don't know. I might have to switch from that.
Dude, I might have to switch.
Because
for
I
real.
used NLT for like the longest time.
New
and
Living
then
I used
like,
ESV.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Totally.
yeah. I mean, honestly, the whole controversy with if you're reading the Bible, you're good. I know that there's
Yeah.
ones that like you probably shouldn't be reading.
Yeah, like
but
there's.
It's very rare that people read those.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
Not like
I know there was. Don't take my word for it, but I heard that.
it's not just like KGB only.
Heretic.
I know there was ones made around the churches that are that support homosexuals and stuff.
Yeah.
They made like Bibles that are
I think I heard about
flexible around them.
that too. AKA taking out verses.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, it's mixing the scripture. So, yeah, that's all gonna go in. You want to do the intro now?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Is
go
it
ahead
gonna
and
go
get
in?
started. Everything's going in.
Okay.
You serious?
Yeah.
How-
Keep going, content.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Ilya, and this is Venji and Robert.
Hey
And
there.
we're back with Light in the Darkness, episode 3. But we realized that way back in episode 1, we never really introduced ourselves.
Yeah.
So
So you guys know nothing about us.
you know nothing about us, and I don't know if you want to know about us, but we'll see.
I wouldn't want to know about me.
Yeah, me
For
neither.
real, nobody wants you, Robert.
But before we get into that and our other topics, it might be a shorter episode today, but I'm going to go through the verse of the week, and that's 1 John 3:18. Little children, let us not love with word or with tongue, but in action and in truth.
Yeah, for sure. The way I could take a look at this one is saying that many people like to say something, but they never do it. Like, this is one way you can look at it. Like, Ben always likes to say that, like, they talk the talk, but they won't walk the walk
All the time.
all the time. And, I mean, like, I guess, like, if you say something, hold your word and actually do it. And live by what you say, you know?
Yeah.
And like if you say like your wife, you know, you're loving her, you say, honey, I love you, this, that, and like
Gotta show it.
you gotta show it. You actually gotta work through it, you know. And
I didn't know Robert was such a romantic.
oh man, what can I say?
Not just lucky.
But
It's always better to have actions rather than just saying that you'll do something.
Yeah,
Because
for
that's
sure.
how you show it. Like
Mhm.
yeah,
it shows you mean it.
exactly.
You know, like same thing with Christianity. Like we say we love Jesus, but okay, we love him. How do we show it though?
Exactly.
How are we a light in the darkness?
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I don't think Jesus would. Well, okay, I can't say that, but I'm saying like, me personally, if someone said they love me and they do this and they'll do anything for us, but as soon as I get into a problem or I get in a wreck and, for example, a wreck and they're not there, well
Yeah.
then that's
Speaks
not,
volumes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it speaks volumes, exactly. But I guess that's a good look at it. But yeah. Well, one thing that's been going on a lot lately, news, everyone's been reading the news, is the
I
big
hate the news.
Honestly.
the
Seriously.
news. It's a dangerous place.
It is.
Place
It's a
too.
very dangerous place in the news. Is Ukraine, the war that's happening in Ukraine. A lot of people were asking me, what's my view on it? Do I pick Russia or do I pick Ukraine?
Yeah,
How should
same
I be
here.
looking at it? I know my answer to that, but I want to hear what you guys think of that.
I'm not gonna politicize it. I'm not gonna personally say my political view on it.
Yeah.
But what I do believe is that war is always evil,
Yes.
and there's a lot of people that suffer from it. So war is never good. But at the same time, you know, like we have to trust God with it. We have to see that this is God's will in a way, or not in a way, it is God's will for it to happen. He allowed this to happen for a reason. You know, we might not understand the reason, and of course that's why we pray for Ukraine and all the civilians or just anyone in there, but we still have to trust God with it. You know, just give it all to Him and find peace in that.
I think a lot of times, like especially on social media, people focus so much on picking sides or who's right, who's wrong, that they forget like civilians on both sides are suffering. You know,
Exactly.
This is bad for everyone involved, and like politics and government and all that stuff, all these powers that play are so much more complicated than the general public understands.
Exactly.
That we again, like you said, it's all we can do is show support in any way we can, whether that's donating or sending packages, whatever, helping our family members there.
Or just in prayer.
Speaking of donating, you also got to be very careful to what you're donating for. Like when this war just started, I realized there was this campaign going around to help fund it. I even personally fell for it because I didn't look into it. You got to look into what you're donating to as well, because what this campaign ended up being is to support the Ukrainian war, to build their army for they can go fight Russia.
No way.
So a lot of people donated. A lot of you can even say Christians donated, not knowing to a war, but I'm sure when they found out, they knew they did wrong. But yeah, you should definitely be careful with that. What you're donating to. But yeah, and I mean, basically what you guys were saying about the war, my opinion is, it's a war that's happening in the world right now. It's a war, like in Russian.
Spiritual war.
If you were to say it in Russian, it's mирный war, война. And like a saying I heard our pastor said to us is, right now the war we should be battling is the war within our spiritual war, духовная война. Not the worldly war or against other nations and stuff. Мирная война, basically. But yeah.
Because if you try to fight a worldly war, there's going to be like 15 other ones that are happening at the same time in the world.
Like
Exactly.
You notice how even this war, even though it's relatively small compared to like the grand scheme of things, like it's not a world war or anything, but look how many people it affects. It affects us here, and it affects Americans, Europeans.
Yeah.
With sanctions, Russians as well, Belarusians, Ukrainians. I mean, everyone's affected by it. And so again, it just shows us that we need to trust God with it. Like we don't know the reason why God allows this, but or I can't say theory, but like my idea is that God allowed this because we're in the last times, the last days of everything. Sure. So through this, we can all go to God, see Him, in every little thing.
Yeah.
See that He controls it. Everything's in His hand, not in ours.
Yeah. Like the Bible says, brothers will go against brothers, and it's coming to time where our own people are going against each other, And like you were saying, this war is affecting a lot of people. It's not only affecting it because of the war, because of the damage the war's done, but it's also affecting people and families or whatever because these people are picking sides and these sides are being segregating them.
Churches
basically.
Churches as well,
and which is very wrong because now they're getting caught up in this world and they're saying, oh, I picked this side, I picked that, and at the end of the day, that's very wrong because they're not being loving to each other. They're not loving each other, and they'll turn on their family just because they're, again, like, support a different country, And like, I feel like, if they support something that's wrong, you should tell them about it, but you should never hate them or turn against them or something. You should love them and hold them close and teach them the right,
Yeah.
And that goes with anything.
Yeah, that's why politics is dangerous. Like,
very dangerous.
You can get like lost in all that.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we can hop on to the biographies or autobiographies of us.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Let's start with you, Ben.
Yeah, let's do
Me.
that.
What? Who are you?
We're gonna interrogate you.
All right. What do you guys want to know?
The root of the problem. Why are you the way that you are?
Very good question. I believe it's my past trauma.
Oh, okay. Let's get into that.
I'm just kidding. This isn't therapy. At least not on air.
Yeah. not yet. At least. But yeah, just tell us about yourself. Like, what do you do?
19 years old. I was born in Belarus. Moved here when I was 2.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I thought you were born here.
I didn't know that.
Oh my.
I'm an
Okay.
OG.
Wow,
Okay.
see, I'm learning
Wow.
something.
So yeah,
So
I was
you're
born in
from there,
Belarus
okay.
and moved here back in '04 and lived here ever since. I work at Detail Driven. It is a detailing studio. Basically, we work with cars. That's the short answer, but long answer is we polish cars, ceramic coat them, PPF them, which is paint protection film. So just a bunch of things we can do with that. So then, yeah, that's where I work.
It's art.
Yeah. What else can I tell you about myself? Ministries, I guess.
Yeah.
I go to choir here at church, the podcast here, and the worship group for youth.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
that's recent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just joined that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
new.
exciting.
This podcast is new too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To both all of us
Stumbled.
here.
Mhm.
But definitely a good thing. I guess let's just keep going down the line.
Oh, okay, yeah. Of
Yeah.
course, you want to save the best for last.
No,
Okay,
no, I'm not
okay.
that good.
Anyways, so my name's Ilya. Obviously, I'm 21 years old. I'm in college. I'm about to graduate in
Oh.
May, so
And get
that's
married.
exciting. Getting
Ooh.
married in June, so
I know
it's
another
gonna-
person that's graduating in May. Is
It's-
that's when usually college students graduate, right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it May? Okay.
usually May.
okay.
Sometimes there's like December graduates.
All right.
But yeah, I'm gonna graduate with the bachelor's in nursing. So I've been working at the retirement community right next to church, Bridgewater, as a CNA. But
Oh.
hopefully I'll get a job as a nurse. I actually had an interview today,
Nice.
and it went really well. So we'll see. I'm
That's great.
praying about it. But
That's great.
excited to graduate. Getting married in June. That's exciting.
Ooh.
Olga, shout out. And other ministries, I used to be in choir, but not anymore. But now I'm doing the podcast and I preach every once in a while.
Yeah. Too
Yeah,
cool
you
for
got
us.
some very
for
good
Oh,
the
sermons.
choir.
I'll
Thank
tell
you. I
that.
appreciate it.
Slum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. I'm obviously joking about being too cool for the choir. But no, your preaches are great. I've heard them. I enjoyed them a lot.
Thanks. Yeah,
So
appreciate it.
definitely good job on that. All right, I guess we're gonna save the worst for last.
Yeah.
I'm Robert. I am 18 years old. I do all the media work around here. Basically, I work in the studio. I run the Molodezh channel and do as much as I can for the podcast. I also I help out around a bunch of other stuff like the East Coasts, like for their graphic designs for conferences and stuff. It's just kind of fun to see your own work around everywhere. But
Yeah, so you know who does it now. Every time you see like a poster for like a conference, that's
You know who to
Yeah.
you know who
trash
it is.
on.
yeah, you know who to hate on. It's probably me. But yeah, and
I just realized you've been doing stuff like video wise for a long time because I feel like even when I was in Sunday school, you helped our group record something. So that's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah, that was one of my first things I've did
Projects or whatever.
projects
Yeah.
for the church. It was that emotions video
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I was really bad back then. I remember like
Hey,
with that stuff, I was horrible.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, but it was fun. I definitely like that's what motivated me to keep going, And but yeah, my sister actually pulled me into that. She was in your group, I
Mhm.
believe. But yeah, she pulled me into that. And I guess that's where it started. But yeah, I'll also I guess another thing I do is T-shirts, Trinity Wear. We've pulled that into our Molodezh now, so we're selling clothing. But yeah,
Did you design the ones in Mass? Right?
Yeah, I did.
They look
Yeah,
decent.
it was funny.
Mediocre at best.
Hey, that's
Nah,
good
I'm
for.
just No, they were nice. I didn't get one, but
Yeah, it
pretty
was
nice.
funny though. I have a story about that. Like when we were up in Mass, like I see that they were putting out the shirts, and I still didn't get to see them myself. Like I designed it, but I didn't see the final product yet. So like I walked up to them, and I see these people, and like I've never talked to them before. So I was like, all right, these are not the people I talked to when I was designing. So I asked them, I was like, man, who designed this? And they're like, oh, we don't know. I was like, man, it looks so bad.
Whoops.
And then they right away go, oh yeah, it wasn't us. It's some dude from Virginia. It's like, but and then I was like, oh okay, yeah. And then I tell him it was me, and then we just laughed. But I mean, it was obviously in a joking manner. Like I'm sure they didn't mean it in any form, but yeah. it was funny. Good people, good people. But yeah, and for work, I also do video. I'm a video editor for a company, Cronus. But yeah, that's just
What? So is that like a 9 to 5 job, or is that you?
that's a 9 to 5.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just video edit for them, and then also do side jobs on the side.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
that's my thing, my little thing. I want to get into retailing, but or
Yeah.
real, however it's said, real estate, not retailing.
Retailing.
I want to work behind the cashier.
Hey, you'd be great. Customer service.
Customer service, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, I guess one thing doing all these things, like I would like to talk about is when doing all these things sometimes can get stressful as a Christian
Mhm.
because like you can do so
Definitely.
much outside work or so much ministry that it's hard to
Managing work. and,
yeah,
like,
to balance
balance
it
everything.
out. Yeah, it can get really tough. And like, I mean, I struggled with that a lot last year. Like, a lot of people say there's no limit to ministries, but personally, I think
it takes a toll.
there's a limit. I think there's like a spot where you should stop doing so many ministries is when a ministry starts affecting the other ministries.
Yeah.
So like, for instance,
I feel like another thing is, I feel like God made every person for a specific thing as well. You know,
Exactly.
you're not gonna be good at everything,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
you just need to find your thing. Like, I get when you're new to youth, you're just trying to find your thing, so you're everywhere, and that makes sense, you know. But the
If
older
it's-
you get, you like find your little niche, or you know,
Yeah,
where
exactly.
you go, or what you're good at, or the gift God gave you.
Yeah. And if you're in like a million different things at once, how are you gonna give your 100% in each of those
Exactly.
things?
I was just about to say that.
It's tough.
It's like if you're booked up the whole week and like Thursday you have like choir, for example, but then you also plan to print shirts or whatever on Thursday as well. You won't be able to do that one ministry to its 100% because you got another one in the way and it will never
Mhm.
be done fully. And sometimes you can even say it won't be done from the heart because you're just doing it to get it done so you can make it to the next ministry. And then it
Right.
just kind of at that point becomes repetitive and you're just doing it to do it, you
Mhm.
know? But yeah.
And I think another important thing is to realize is that like when you're at school, when you're at work, those are also ministries. Like that's also a chance for you to be a light in the
True.
darkness.
Yeah.
And you can take any opportunity to just be kind, be loving, show that light that you have inside of you. Use it as an opportunity to, even if you're not like actively teaching someone about Jesus, just the way you carry yourself, the way you're reacting to situations can be like a
A
guidance
light.
to someone or a light. Yeah,
Light
exactly.
in the darkness for sure.
I heard a pastor say today. I was listening to a sermon today at work, and he mentioned something about ministry as well, and служение, or same thing. But he said it doesn't have to be a big thing. If you can't find your thing, prayer can be a ministry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're just
That's definitely true. That
You
there's
know,
that one
like-
guy who prays every evening.
Yeah.
And I love hearing his prayers. Like it's like I look forward to them.
that
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
can also be a ministry if you can't find your thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know
Or-
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he prays in English, right? Or
No, he's like older and he like prays for like the truck drivers.
Oh,
And
that
he-
dude,
oh,
yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah. But for sure, like another thing is like your ministry. We were talking about this at Bible study for the past 2 weeks. Your ministry can be as simple as a street sweeper.
Yeah.
You sweep the streets, you know. But
Volunteering somewhere.
volunteering, exactly. It could be anything. But you like if I were you, I'd rather 100% like what's the name? Master this ministry where you can give God everything. And I think there's also a thing where if you're gonna master a ministry, you won't ever be able to do it by yourself. Like the whole reason you get into a ministry is to do it for God and have God work through you as well. You know.
You gotta catch yourself as well to realize that you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for God's glory.
Exactly.
I catch myself as well. You know, sometimes I get thoughts like, "Oh, this is to make you look good," or "This is to show everyone that you're doing something." But then you catch yourself and you're like, "That's so not right." You
Yeah.
know, and you're like, "No, this is for God's glory. This is
Yeah.
to spread the word, spread that light."
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
you basically covered that pretty well. But yeah.
Yeah, but another topic we can talk about is like how do we actually be a light in the darkness?
Yeah.
Our
Oh, yeah.
podcast is named Light in the Darkness, but how do we do that practically?
For sure. Ilya,
What are your
how
thoughts on
can we
that?
be a light in the
How
darkness?
can we be a light in the darkness? Well, I
Use a
guess.
flashlight.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I guess that kind of starts with like your own personal relationship with Christ. Like, if you're
Yes.
not dedicating time to getting to know Him, spending time with Him in prayer and reading the Word, then how can you be a light if you don't even have that personal
That's
connection?
hypocrisy then.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And like pretty much like the Bible is a manuscript for how to be a light in the darkness. Like
Yeah.
anytime you read like the New Testament, even the Old Testament, like that gives you some good guidelines. Seeking wisdom instead of seeking the things of the world. Just like having unselfish, unconditional love for others rather than only focusing on yourself.
Mhm.
Just like these basic things that are like focused in on different parts of the Bible. Once you start reading the Bible more or praying more, and that's truly the time when you can open up and be a light in the darkness. So yeah, that's like the first step, I feel like.
Yeah. And then the second step, I would say, is moving on to light that second person up to be a light as well. So a good example is as a candle. If you are a candle and you are on fire, if you have a fire lit above you, you can pass it on to someone else, to another candle, to light them on fire as well. So you can do this. Passing it on can be like loving someone or catching their attention by caring for them, being a good Christian. So they see like, wow, this is what a Christian is. Wow, they're very great people, like they live by the word they say, they live by what they believe in. They're not just saying it. And
Just be that example.
exactly. And then that can even get them going, or that can just get their attention, and you can read them the Bible and going on
Yeah.
from there and lighting them up on fire.
I guess step 3 could be just prayer.
Prayer.
Prayer, like if you have, it can even be just one person. If you want to be that light just for one person, just pray for them constantly, because you can't change that person. Obviously, that's only God can change people.
Yeah.
You can be an example, yeah. You can show them that light, but you can't change that person. So obviously, pray constantly for that person or people, whoever it is. And also, very important to actually know the Bible and read the Bible, because when we read the Bible, we understand God's character through it. From Genesis to Revelations, the whole book just shows who God is, His character, and when we see that, we try to apply that to ourselves. Like who God is, like what are His traits.
And going off on that, once we learn more about His traits, we start to see our traits and it contrasts.
Exactly
it's like,
that.
wow,
Exactly
that's
that.
him.
And then and then you see your bad traits, and that's how you know you need to work on those.
Yeah.
So again, that's why we read the Bible so much. That's why we love the Bible. That's why we study it.
It's always about self-improvement.
Exactly.
And that can only come from God. We can't really help ourselves.
A person's not going to change if they're the ones trying to change.
Yeah, they won't be that light. They won't be
If
able
they
to.
constantly say I'm working on myself, or I want to change myself, or I'm going to change myself, they're not going to change.
Yeah.
You need to let Jesus. You got to give it to God and say, Lord, change me, because I can't, not without your help.
But then it's also a little not counterpoint, but just another thing to keep in mind is you can't always just be like, oh, God, change me, God, do this. But then
Well, you obviously have to put in the effort,
Exactly.
But
it starts with
you rely on God, and you rely on Him to change you.
exactly. He's the priority.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to get your priorities straight.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I had a verse up and I can't find. Oh, there we go. John 8:12 says, again Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in the darkness, but will have the light of life. I guess it just says that this light isn't our acts of what we do, but it's more like it's Jesus working, or it's God working through us to be and make us being a good act is like showing that this is what God can do to us, like being good people. And basically, and like to back that up, Acts 3:47 says, for so the Lord has commanded us, saying, I made you a light for the Gentiles, that you may bring salvation to the ends of the earth. Basically saying like He made us who we are. So and we need to accept it and accept his work and just keep going and striving in this world, trying to act good to show what God has done in us, you know, and what he can do in them, and bring salvation, you know, and just spread his word, you know, be a good light, and that will reignite others. And it's, yeah. So those are some Bible verses to back it up, so it doesn't sound like we're just saying a bunch of baloney.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The best way to just spread that light is be the example. Like, what, you know, but what does that actually mean? It's like, say you're at work or you're just out in public and something happens, someone's, you know, like at work, something irritates you. How do you react? That can be a very good example. You know, like, do you go off? Do you, you know, show that you're mad? Or do you just accept it for what it is, and you just, you know.
And it's not just in like public settings. It's how are you reacting to situations when you're alone, all alone in a room.
That as well, yeah.
Not surrounded by anyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's important too.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like in families, that should be a good thing too. Like the older ones, the role models should also be to the younger ones a good example. So they can also, you can light anyone on fire. Not literally. You could do that too.
Please don't.
Please
Please don't.
But like theologically, I guess, I don't know the right word, but you can light anyone on fire, and theoretically, I guess, yeah. But I personally think you should start at home and
the people
keep
closest
going.
to you.
Closest to you, exactly. Because then they're going to be there in the long run with you. And if you're not like an example, or the people close to you don't look up to you, why do you think a stranger is going to want any part of that? Exactly.
So
yeah.
That's the good point.
You got to know how to work with people close to you before you go out in the world, you know. And that can be at church, that can be at home, that can be at school, you know. But yeah.
So that was like short, but like we said, this is going to be a shorter episode.
Yeah.
But you guys, it's up to you guys. Send us in, like in the comments, like what you guys want us to talk about, topics. If you have a particular guest that you want us to interview, if you want to be interviewed, let us know.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Remember the thing we talked about earlier about what they want to be named?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
what our
okay,
audience
yeah,
should be named.
so-
Bring it up.
We're the Light in the Darkness podcast, and if we're going to be addressing you guys each week,
You guys know us. Now we need to know you.
we need to know
how
you.
do we address you?
We need to know, like, what's our fan base's name? You know, like, is it like just plain and simple Molodezh, or is it like the
God's
homeboys?
people,
Like,
or
I
I
got it.
don't know. Exactly.
Like, it could be funny, it could be simple, whatever.
Yeah.
But we need like a fan base name. So whatever you guys want that to be, also comment that.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Best
And
one.
then next episode we'll choose.
We'll choose, which are our
we-
favorite.
We need to pick something, because I feel like if
You
we keep
guys
calling them
is-
Molodezh, because Molodezh means youth in Russian. But I guess our definition of Molodezh is the youth of God, or the Christian youth of our church, you know. But I feel like if we keep calling them that, it won't fit, because not everyone is a youth who's listening.
Yeah,
who's part
that's
of the
true.
youth who's listening. You
Yeah,
know?
and listen, and like name them listeners or watchers. It's kind of
Yeah.
Weird. Basic.
Exactly. Could be like a 9-year-old. They're not the youth.
We don't discriminate.
But we don't
Of
discriminate.
all ages.
Everyone can listen.
Everyone's welcome.
But yeah. And with that, I guess we can close out.
Yeah, we can close out. Today was a short episode, but next week hopefully we'll have a guest. We are looking forward
were
to.
you were talking about, is this going to be every week or is this every other week?
This will be actually that's a good point. This will be every other week now, because it's like, I feel like if we were to do it every single week, we would run out of content or something interesting to talk about.
And
so
it just gives us more time to prepare.
yeah, exactly.
Do
So
some research.
yeah, exactly. So what we're going to do is now every other week, it'll be releasing Thursday at 8 p.m. Every other week. So, yeah, hopefully you guys are fine with that and not upset.
Anyways, like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
And
Spread the word.
be a light in the darkness.
Visit all of our sister channels.
I was like, visit our sisters, what?
Wait, what?
Stay away from my sisters.
My sister's married.
No, our sister channels and YouTube ones. Youth for Jesus, that's a good one. That's the whole East Coast's youths creating content, what they're doing for the world. Very interesting. I suggest you guys check that out. Shout out to them, I guess. But yeah, without being said, that was loud. with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close off. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you next time.